everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Or maybe you are watching the recording right now. Anyways, welcome to this first issue of Actonic Live. Thanks for joining. We have some cool stuff to show you today, and we think you will like it. If you've seen our little teaser campaign for today in the past few weeks on social media, then you know that we have prepared a special cinematic video for you. And maybe you are just here for that. So to kick things off, I'd like to show it to you now.
What is most important in your job? Is it how much you earn? Is it the number of vacation days you have? Is it what you are working on? Your projects? Or could it be something completely different? Thomas is working way too many hours. I totally forgot about Anna's vacation. Controlling needs to know these numbers, but how? How many hours did we spend on this project last month? I have no idea how to invoice this. Easy time tracking and work log analysis for my team. Custom availability settings per team member. Flexible permission system. And it even protects our personal data. People in your team are everything you have, and you are everything they have. They trust you, they depend on you. Take care of them, unfold their potential. Better decisions for your team. Timesheet Builder for Jira.
So the cat is out of the bag. We made a little mystery out of it, but we are talking today about Timesheet Builder, Actonic's latest app for Jira on the Atlassian marketplace. And to start things off, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you remember your first car? Of course you do. I think most people do. Let me tell you about mine. It was a red Toyota, but my wife actually makes fun of me to this day because it was not completely red anymore. The color had rubbed off in a few places, and it was an old car. I got it as a gift from my aunt after I passed the driver's license test, and I drove this car to the ground. I repaired it again and again when something broke, and at some point it just didn't make any sense anymore to keep repairing it, and it was time to let it go. So when that happened, I didn't just want to sell this car to some stranger and be done with it. I felt like I wanted to do something more. I needed some kind of closure because after all, I had this car for over 20 years. So what I did was I took a nice picture of it and I wrote a Facebook post to say goodbye, basically. And I thought about where we went together, what kind of experiences we had together, and so on. I mean, actually, I met my wife in this car. I drove to our first dates in this car. And afterwards, we did our first trips together in this car. So the whole thing became pretty emotional. And I'm not ashamed to say that when I wrote that post, I sat at my desk at home and I started crying. Really tears down my face. I was a complete mess. It's true. And it was just overwhelming, right? So in hindsight, it's totally ridiculous, right? I mean, it's just a car. But that is what we humans sometimes do. We attach ourselves emotionally to an object, even though this object cannot appreciate our feelings, right? Or give something back. So why do we do that? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But what I do know is that sometimes probably we should pay more attention to the people around us and invest in a connection with them and not with some object, because these people can actually appreciate our affection and react to it in some form, and relationship can grow. Something that cannot work with a car, right? Some people probably think it can, but it can't. So that goes for our private lives, but also for our work environment. At Actonic, we believe that in a great team, great things can happen. Put good people in a good atmosphere of honesty, trust, and respect, and they will achieve great things together and grow together. This is the driving force behind the products we are developing. We want to connect teams through technology and create tools to make that happen. That's why we created Timesheet Builder, to enable you to make better decisions for your team. Because leading a team is hard, and we are hoping to make it a little easier. So to have a closer look at Timesheet Builder, here's Lisa to tell you more.
Andreas explained why we built Timesheet Builder, and I'm now going to show you how to use it best. Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'm working as a user experience designer for Actonic. In today's demo, we're going to cover two use cases. One, how to use Timesheet Builder as a team lead, and secondly, how to use Timesheet Builder as a team member or an individual contributor. So first, let's dive into the team lead position. Here you can see the team's overview of Timesheet Builder. It's basically your cockpit as a team leader to have a look at everything that's going on. So as you can spot here on the left, you can see who is in your team. In this case, it's me and also Andreas. I'm currently the team lead and also a team member. He is a team member, but also a co-team lead. I assigned this role to him just that we have shared responsibility. With this role and our unique permissioning scheme, you're basically able to set who's able to view work logs, manage them, and also manage the whole team. So in case of, for example, a sick leave or a vacation, you're not the only one who has all the permissions. And if we imagine this team would be like 5 people big, then that's also quite convenient to have someone that helps you to manage it. Another feature of this team section is the timeline view. In this timeline view, we are able to see what the people have worked on. Let's have a look at what we have worked on last week. So you can see that Andreas has logged 1 day last week and I logged 4 hours. You can now click here to get even more deeper insight into everything that is happening. So for example, if I'm clicking on issue, and I can also pin it down by having a look at what the people have logged work for. So it's the usual comment that you're setting while you're logging time will be displayed here. In this case, I can see that Andreas has spent 1 day, and in this 1 day, he spent 1 hour brainstorming a concept for the launch campaign. He finalized the video and prepared the materials for the launch event, and this took him 30 minutes. And I can also see that he shot the campaign content and edited it. And he also worked on a budget estimation, and this took him 30 minutes. So overall, 1 day. And I can also see on which days he has worked on what, which is quite convenient for me as a team lead. So as you can see, it's quite easy to have a look at what your team members are doing. And you can also set who is able to see what. We also have another feature coming up, but more on that on a different time. So now let's cover the second use case. What's happening for me as an individual contributor or a regular member of the team. For that, let's go to another section. It's called my timesheets. On my timesheets, I can basically log my time however I want it. We have different possibilities. One possibility is the button on the top that you can spot right here. Another one is just to click on any time slot that you want, and then there will be a pop-up, the same as on log time. And you can select for which team you want to log the time, on which issue you want to log the time, how much time did it took you, and also when you started it, on which date, and you can also just write down a brief description of what you have done. But not only that, you can also have a look at what have you done this week, for example, or in a month. So in this case, I'm currently logged in as Andreas. I can see that he has worked 6 hours to shoot the campaign content and edit it. So he spent 6 hours on this TBD6 ticket. So this is quite convenient to log your time and don't get lost in all the to-dos that you have. This also isn't a bit not too suitable for your workflow, there's another option to log your time. So in this case, you just click on an issue, for example, like that. Then you are here right at the story. And in this case, you have this little timer feature. I'm going to start it. And while I'm now explaining what this does, the time will be tracked in the background. So in this case, you can easily click start and click pause when you're finished with your task, and everything will run in the background. So basically the days are over where you need to write down how much time you spent on what, and then need to pin it in your program or in your app afterwards. You can just do it like that and integrate it into your workflow. So for example, I'm now almost finished with explaining what I wanted to talk about. And in this case, I contributed a bit, like 1 minute to this ticket because I explained something in our launch event. So when I'm ready, I'm just clicking it's done. I can allocate the team. So in this case, it's our product team. And we are adding the work log as Lisa. And Andreas is also able to do it because I gave him the permission to manage work logs as for other members. I will type down that it only took me 1 minute, and then I can click save. If you are using the timer feature on a longer period like you usually would do, it just counts down the hours and you don't have to worry about anything, just clicking stop once you've finished and then start again when you start with your new task. So I guess that summarizes up our product inside, and now let's get back to you, Andreas.
Thank you, Lisa. All right, now that you have an overview of how Timesheet Builder looks like and how you can use it, let's talk a little bit more about security. We know from customers that have strict company guidelines that they need a solution to completely control who can see any given work log and who can't. We see those guidelines a lot in regulated industries like insurance and finance. They can also be set up by workers' councils in order to protect the data privacy rights of employees. Apart from that, it is also a basic requirement of standing data privacy laws like the GDPR and similar regulations. Any kind of personal data, including work log entries, should only ever be available to those people who absolutely need to work with it. Also, you might have heard that new laws are going to be put into effect in Germany soon regarding the documentation of working hours. With Timesheet Builder, you are able to perfectly set this up in Jira with complete data privacy on top, something that no other app on the Atlassian marketplace can currently offer. In order to achieve that, Timesheet Builder includes a flexible permission system which allows you to create new user roles and assign team members to these roles. This way, you can specify who can view and edit whose work log entries and who can manage which team. Until now, however, there has always been one downside with systems like this. Even if you set up everything correctly, there were still ways for people to access work logs they shouldn't be able to see. That's because in the History tab of the Issues Activity section, it is still visible who logged how much time to this ticket and when. Also, there's always the Jira REST API to retrieve this data if you know how to use it. And lastly, any third-party app could potentially also access this information and make it available. This is the case because usually these systems work by simply hiding the corresponding information from view, but they are still in a public place. I'm happy to say that those days are finally over. Today, Actonic is pioneering a new level of work log security for your Jira time tracking with secured work logs. And it couldn't be simpler to use. When you set up a new team, you select if you want to use normal Jira work logs or our secured work logs. Different teams can have different settings. And that's it. On the front end, everything stays the same and is still as seamlessly integrated into Jira as ever. But with this solution, you can be certain that your permission settings will hold up. Secured work logs are stored in the Jira database, so they will be included in your regular backup. But they are kept separate from Jira's own work logs inside Timesheet Builder. Should you decide to stop using Timesheet Builder at some point, you will have the possibility to switch your work logs back to the normal way, basically exporting them out of Timesheet Builder and importing them back into Jira. So don't worry, we will not lock you in. Worklog switching is currently in active development and will be coming soon. Right now, we offer secured worklogs for data center only. For cloud, we are assessing the demand for this feature and will implement it in the future depending on the feedback we get. So if you have a need for this in Jira Cloud, make sure to let us know. We will have a look at your requirements and develop a solution that works best for everyone. That's all for today. Let's recap. We've seen our new and amazing cinematic product film for Timesheet Builder. We talked about the development philosophy behind Actonic products. We got to see a Timesheet Builder demo of 2 use cases with Lisa. And we learned how secured worklogs will enable you to truly keep your users' data protected. If you want to learn more about Timesheet Builder, please contact us at actonic.de or schedule a demo at actonic.de/appdemo. Finally, I can offer free licenses for Timesheet Builder and our other apps if you are an Atlassian community leader or if you, as a fellow Atlassian solution partner, want to use our apps internally. Just reach out and we will send you a promo code. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.